Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm back with Last Twilight episode 9. I'm so excited for this. The trailer, or let's just call it the sneak peek, was already told us what we can expect from this episode. We know that Dae's losing his eyesight drastically and he's actually trying to deal with it, and that's why I kind of liked the message that his other blind friend gave him on the way. He does not need anyone to look after him. Just because he now lost his eyesight doesn't necessarily mean that he is completely useless. Because I have the feeling that's actually what Dae is thinking the entire time. So I actually thought it was kind of cute that he kept on being reminded of the fact that he can do a lot of things, ignoring the fact that he now has that problem. So let's see what's gonna happen this episode, because from what I can recall, Dae's father suddenly showed up at the party, which is something that I didn't quite understand, because how did he know it was Dae if he disappeared ever since Dae was little? But I thought a little about it, and maybe that's why Night was like, if I call you or text you, pick up or write me back immediately, it's important. Maybe he knew that his father was there. Maybe Night kept contact with his father, and that's why he was like, if I text you, please call me back. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe. For the full uncut reaction, you can check out my Patreon. The link is in my description box below. And without further ado, let's start. The dramatic music.
ไนท์มันบอกว่าเดย์จะมางานเนี้ยพ่อเลยตามมาเจอหน้าเดย์
They did not have to prove me right, y'all. They did not have to prove me right. I literally just thought about this. I was like, how was the dad supposed to know that Dae was gonna be there? And the last message that Night gave to Mock saying, if I call you, please pick up the phone. I kind of had the feeling that he had something to do with the fact that, I don't want to say that this was kind of like a conspiracy, but let's just say I kind of had a shady feeling about the entire situation. Because of course he was worried about Dae, but I had the feeling that there was something more to it, because I feel that Night truly trusts Mock with Dae. So I didn't think that Night actually would want some kind of checkup where he's like, how is it going between the two of you? As in, is everything alright? But it actually makes sense now that I think about it. Night was like, please pick up the phone as soon as I call. And the fact that his father now showed up and he immediately knew that it was Dae, it means that someone had to kind of help him know in a certain sense. Because if the dad has been gone his entire childhood, there is no way that he could immediately recognize Dae. Because I don't know, how old is Dae anyway? I think he's in college, so I don't think he is 16. He must be at least 20, 21 maybe, 22. And if the dad has been absent his entire childhood, how would he know how he looks like now? So someone must have kept him updated. The mom doesn't seem to be the kind of woman that is like, okay, you dumped me, now I keep you updated on my children. I can't I'm talking bad about the mom here, but you all know by now how I feel about this mom. She is more selfish than anything else. You can see that she truly is worried about her son, but I already said my piece to that, because truly caring also means that you have to respect someone's decisions, and she doesn't do that. So I just think it's not gonna be a good impact, because the dad could have been in his life if he tried harder. If you guys understand what I mean. He could have done something different so that he could have still been in Night and Dae's life. And apparently the only person that kept in contact with their father was Night. they didn't have any contact with him up until now. So I have the feeling that Day is gonna take this a little negative. He's gonna be like, oh, another backstab that this man is doing to me. Because I don't know how his relationship is with his father, but considering the fact that Day, in general, ignoring the fact that he's dealing with the issues of him becoming blind, I think he's a little sensitive about the topic family in general. He feels that everyone is either looking down on him or not considering his feelings too much. So the fact that Knight actually told his father where Day is, I don't think that Day is gonna take that very nicely. I think he's very sensitive as in right now. Ignoring the fact that Mock is like right next to him and giving him like moral support. There are things that you have to deal with by yourself, and no matter if you have moral support or not, it's not actually gonna help you heal from that specific moment. It's like there are things where you actually need time to process a specific topic, and I have the feeling that they kind of like put that topic aside and was like, yeah, the topic with my father is like over because I know he's not ever coming back, and now him showing up actually kind of threw Day off a little. So I'm actually scared.
พ่อรู้เรื่องตาเดย์แล้วนะ
Yeah,
มี
backstabbing.
เรื่องอะไรบ้างที่ยังไม่ได้บอก
See?
นึกออกอะมันได้บอกพ่อว่ามันเป็นคนทำให้เดย์ตาบอด
First off, that's disrespectful. Because your friend actually invited you here. Of course, they couldn't know that the father was gonna show up. Or maybe they thought it would be a pleasant surprise, but they didn't necessarily have to be like that. They did not have to be like that. Because I feel like it's hurting in general. I think it's hurting Day in general to know that he's losing his eyesight. I already said a lot about that. But this actually caught me off guard, y'all. He's blaming Knight for his blindness? Why is that? Like, it's not like he actually just said, yeah, this man is making fun of me and everything. No, he's actually blaming Knight right now that he's blind. Why would he be the cause of him being blind? They needs to explain that to me. Why is he saying that Knight is responsible for him losing his eyesight? I mean, I saw a few comments that reminded me that they had an accident when he was younger, and maybe Knight could have been the one to cause the accident, and that's why his corneas were damaged, and that's why he's now slowly losing his eyesight. But let me put in my few cents about that. I don't think it's okay that Day is blaming the entire situation of him losing his eyesight completely on Knight. Because he couldn't have known. Like, Knight couldn't have known that the accident could be the cause of Day losing his eyesight. And in a certain sense, it could also explain the hatred that Day has for Knight. Because I did talk about this. It's the 4th stage of the 5 stages of grief. You try to put the blame on someone else. You're like, if you wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have to go through this, and that. It would make sense that he's like, yeah, if you would have been a little more careful, I wouldn't have to go through this shit. But Knight couldn't have known. He couldn't have known that this accident could be the cause of Day losing his eyesight. I don't think it's okay that he's blaming it on Knight because of the fact that he is psychologically weak, psychologically vulnerable. It would be easier for him to believe that it's someone else's fault than having to accept that life sometimes is a bitch. Life isn't all beautiful. Life sucks. Life is hard. And life kicks your ass so often where you sometimes wonder, why am I even here if nothing positive comes my way? And I think for Day, it's easier to put all the blame on Knight and using Knight in a certain sense as his scapegoat than having to accept the fact that this was an accident that caused to a long-term damage. Like, this was something that nobody had any control over. Knight couldn't have caused an accident purposely for Day to have problems with his corneas that could later in his life cause for him to lose his eyesight. That's nothing that Knight could have programmed. But like I said, because of the fact that he is right now psychologically ill, and he is right now trying to heal automatically, like you heal subconsciously. I said it so many times, there's like this specific level of pain that you as a person can handle. And as soon as that pain has reached its brim and is spilling over, you become depressed because it's too much pain inside of you. And then you yourself automatically, even if you're like, I don't want to talk about that problem, it's too difficult for me to work with, I can't put it in words, you automatically deal with it because your body's like, this is too much pain, I can work like this, it's too much for me. So you automatically try to deal with your problems subconsciously without actually realizing it. And all those negative outbursts that you have while you are trying to heal without actually realizing it are the fact that you are healing. You are healing yourself. And the fact that you feel all that nervousness, you have those angry outbursts, you feel all that sadness and despair. That's because your body is trying to push all that negativity out of your body. And in order to do that, it's using powerful emotions, which when you are feeling bad, what do? I mean, there are two types of person. You can also be someone that likes to do both. But when you try to get rid of pain or like just sadness and despair, you either become insanely aggressive and I don't know, you get into fights. Those are people that are insanely impulsive, etc. We saw it with Ray in Only Friends. Or you cry. Or you can do both. This is like you subconsciously are trying to get all that negativity out of your body. You are in a certain sense cleansing yourself, and because of the fact that you are subconsciously trying to heal yourself, you deal with your problems, and while dealing with that, you automatically relive all those horrible moments that are still hurting you, that are still haunting you personally. So you try to push all that negativity through emotions, as in by evoking emotions like anger and sadness, you try to push all that negativity that you gain as soon as you deal with your problems out of your body. And that's when you suddenly start crying or you have those angry outbursts, even though nobody said anything to contribute to the factor that you are feeling bad right now. Because you drank too much. Not the lightweight. My car. Sir. Um
หมอบอกว่ากระจกตาผมเสียผมยังไม่ค่อยเข้าใจเท่าไหร่วันที่แข่งนัดชิงผมถึงได้รู้
I mean, okay, I need to stop because that's not Knight's fault. I mean, he was drunk. I feel like I'm a horrible person if I'm saying that it's Stay's fault because, I mean, it would have been shitty to have to clean up his vomit, but you were driving, sir. You can't just look around in the car and have one hand at the steering wheel and the other one at, I don't know, the back seat to make sure that your brother doesn't vomit all over your seat. Like, he should have at least found some way to, like, stop the car. You can't just put your eyes somewhere else that isn't the road when you're the one driving. That's not Knight's fault. But like I said, it's easier for Day to blame it on Knight. Knight wasn't the one driving. If Knight would have been the one to drive, then I would have understood that he's like, yeah, this is all your fault. You did this to me. But he didn't. I don't think it's okay that Day's being all of this. It's not Knight's fault. I would have understood if he would have been like, you know what? You did this to me because you were the one holding the steering wheel. But he wasn't. He wasn't the one driving. Day was so eagerly saying that she shouldn't vomit all over this man's car that he was willing to look away from the road and try to find something so that Knight could vomit into that instead of his car or like just the back of his car. But Day was the one driving. He can't put the blame on Knight for that. He can't put the blame on Knight for that. Sir, he has nothing to do with it. It's not his fault. You can't blame your brother for it. I'm sorry. Like, I am the team protecting. I'm team protecting Knight. Knight couldn't have known. Besides, he was drunk. It's not like he was actually lucid. It's not like he was actually in a stable mind where you can actually say this man knew what he was doing. He was drunk as a skunk. He didn't know what he was doing.
ว่ามันเป็นอุบัติเหตุอะเหมือนช่วยโอกาสว่ะ
Y'all, I don't know what to say about this situation anymore. I feel bad for Day. I really do, because no one should have to go through that. Like I said, it's something that they will have to get used to. It's not easy to actually see and then lose your eyesight. So I understand where this man's pain is coming from. He's like, I shouldn't have to go through this. It's not fair. Like, I tried to be a good brother and drive my drunk brother home, and I was the one being punished in the end. I am not really sure how it was possible that this man's corneas were damaged, but maybe one of you guys can tell me. But it's not Knight's fault. Like, this man didn't know. And I'm pretty sure that this man has shown on multiple occasions that this man is sorry. Like, he's actually blaming himself. What is he blaming himself for? He's blaming himself for getting too drunk, for not having been capable to, like, stop at, I don't know, at being tipsy, having had his brother to pick him up, and then having been such a drama queen, even though, like I said, this man was drunk as a skunk. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know what was going on. This man just wanted to barf, because that's what you do when you're drunk. Like, you just want to get that stupid alcohol out of your system, so you want to barf. Day didn't want Knight to barf all over his seat, so he was like, don't you dare, and he was trying to find something so that Knight would barf into, I don't know, a bag or anything but his back seat. And that's why this man ducked down. He shouldn't have removed his eyes from the street. Like, this man was driving. It's not like he was with Knight in the back seat. Like, it's Day's fault for removing his eyes from the road. But considering the fact that Knight didn't know anything, so I can't hold him responsible for what happened that night. He can be held responsible for not having been capable to, like, control his liquor, like, for not stopping at 1 bottle or 2 bottles, but I can't blame him for the accident. They was driving, not Knight. But like I said, I understand, because he's like, I was trying to do something nice for my brother, and I got punished, and my brother, in a certain sense, got a clean slate. I tried to do something good for someone that was doing something bad, someone that was damaging his health, and I had to come and save him in a certain sense, and I was the one being punished for that.
พอมาวันนี้แม่งบอกว่าแม่งเสียใจ
But it wasn't his fault.
คุณมาได้ไงวะคนที่ต้องเสียใจอะคือผมเว้ยไม่ใช่มัน
Dad, I kind of understand now what this is about. It's like that kind of message that I gave a while ago. I hate you just as much as I love you. Day hates the fact that Knight feels sorry for that night, even though Knight contributed to nothing. Knight was drunk. He didn't do anything. to contribute to that accident. It was they that removed his eyes from the road. And that's why he wasn't careful enough. That's why he got off the course and he got into the opposite side and a car came toward him and he didn't see it early, so he couldn't really avoid crashing into the car. So he kinda, because of the pain he was feeling on the inside, he tried to put all the hate and frustration onto Knight so that he could feel a little better about himself in a certain sense. He feels bad for the fact that Knight feels responsible for what happened that night when he didn't actually do anything. He wasn't really the reason that made Day crash into that car. And Day hates the fact that Knight is tormenting himself because of all that guilt, because of the fact that Day lost his eyesight ever since that accident happened and he was in the back seat. So he was like, yeah, it was kind of my fault too, even though Knight did nothing. And Day is like, I hate the fact that he feels sorry for something that he didn't do. He didn't do anything. So it's like he hates the fact that he can't really find a reason to put the hate on his brother. So it's like kind of a controversial thing. He wants to find a reason to hate Knight for what happened that day. And he wants to find a reason to put all the blame on Knight so that he can feel better about the fact that he wasn't careful enough back then, and that the fact that he lost his eyesight is all his own fault. Because the fact, when you are a perfectionist, I did say it in the beginning that Day is a perfectionist. When you are a perfectionist, you want everything to be perfect, and the fact that you could do something wrong is something that you don't even want to admit. So, the fact that Day did this to himself is something that Day doesn't want to admit to himself, because that would have to admit him having done wrong by Knight, because Knight didn't do anything. So he kind of feels right now, as the anger of his own fault, of his own actions, is slowly subsiding, he feels guilty for having tried to hate Knight even though Knight did nothing. Like I said, it's kind of confusing, but for Day, and his situation is completely
พ่อผมคงมีเมียใหม่มั้ง ทิ้งให้แม่ผมต้องไปขอข้าวคนแถวนั้นนะจนสุดท้าย
Me too, Mock. That
ไม่เป็นไร
took
เลย
me
พี่
off guard.
กินข้าวดีกว่า
I did say... Sometimes I hate that I'm right. I was like, I don't want to talk badly about the mom because I do have a heated past with that mother. But I actually did say, it crossed my mind, maybe it was her that was like, you ain't coming back here. But I mean, considering what she had to go through after this man left her, do I blame her for saying, stay out of my life? No, I don't. Why? Because when I need you to be part of my life and to contribute to the fact that your children are okay and you leave me for another woman and you don't even try to make it work, then there's nothing the both of us have to talk about. This man was willing to let his children, like even his children, starve. This woman had to beg for food. And that's why she kind of has like a trauma, some kind of issue with cooking local food. Because that actually reminds her of the horrible times when she didn't know if she was ever gonna get something to eat. Because me as a mom, I would try first off to feed my children because they are growing up. I'm already grown, so I can stay a little longer without food. But my children, they are growing. Depending, I mean, they said that he was only 3 years old. Then I don't know. How old was Knight? 5 years old? Like, they were still growing up. And they needed food to evolve, like to grow up, to get the vitamins and the strength, the energy to do so. And the fact that he just left and he was like, yeah, I was trying to reach out, but your mom didn't let me. I don't blame her. Like, sir, you should have stayed there and you should have showed your support, even if you don't love her anymore. But you should have been the one to immediately react and try to work something out. She shouldn't have been the one to be like, yeah, you send us, I don't know, $500 a month so that I can take care of our children. No, he was like, first off, I'm leaving, and then I'm trying to figure out the fact because, oh, let me remember, I'm still a father. No, sir, that's not how things working. The train has left the station. You lost. So after I did everything on my own to protect my children, to take care of them, and to make sure that they are fed and taken care of, I don't need you anymore. So I wouldn't want you to be in my life and the life of my sons either, because they never had you, so they don't need you anymore either. Like, they grew up knowing that they don't have a father that loves them and that will treat them right. So I'm not gonna let them walk into the lion's den. Bye-bye. Oh no. Oh no.
แม่เราตาบอดอะ
Stop. No, he's
หลัง
not.
จากวันนั้น
That just shows how much of a good person Knight is. He is blaming himself for something that he didn't even do. But why is he blaming himself? Because of the love he has for Day. He wants him to be capable to count on him. This kind of reminds me what happened between me and my sister. I'm not gonna get much into this, but I am the younger sister, and because of the fact that I was always more like calm, collected, I've always been like the more mature one. And I, as the younger sister, had to take care of my older sister. But that's not usually what is supposed to be done here. Even though I believe if there are multiple siblings in the family, everyone should be taking care of everybody. But the problem between me and my sister was, my sister never took care of me. I was always the one looking out for her and trying to protect her as if I would have been the older sister. She never took care of me. She always preferred strangers over me, and I had to be the one to cover for her ass if she ever got in trouble. I'm not the older sister. She is. She never was an older sister. And now that it's too late, even after I was diagnosed with depression, etc., I could slowly see that I don't know if it's guilt, but she started to show, in a certain sense, sadness. She was never really the person to be emotional. She never really showed much emotion. But ever since I was diagnosed with depression, and ever since I was talking about how much pain I was feeling on the inside because of all the horrible things that have happened to me in such a small amount of time, the first time where I broke down, she cried with me. She came up to me and hugged me. She's not a hugger, and she's not really someone that is emotional, as in it's very rare that she cries. So that kind of was like, in a certain sense, I feel like that was like a breaking point for her. As in, I need to be an older sister. I've never been there for her. Maybe that is something that I need to work on. And that's the exact same thing here. Maybe. That's just like my thought. Maybe Knight is blaming himself because of the fact that he thinks that in order to be an older brother, you have to behave like an older brother. He is like, they got this problem because I was acting too reckless. He was the one having to take care of me, even though I'm the older brother. I would have needed to look after him, and not he would have needed to look after me. But he had to look after me because I wasn't careful enough. I didn't listen to reason. I wanted to see how far I can take things. I wanted to act all cool. And that's what caused my little brother to lose his eyesight. If he contributed to that fact or not is not really something that Knight cares about. He's just seeing it as the things unfolded. They lost his eyesight, And because of the fact that Day had to be, in a certain sense, the older brother and look after Night, Night is blaming himself because of the fact that Day now has problems with his eyesight. Because he was like, I needed to be the older brother, not Day, but I wasn't. So, after that thing happened with the accident and Day lost his eyesight, he was like, I need to change. I need to be the older brother that he needs, the older brother he deserves. Even if it's too late, but I will have to try. Because of the fact that he loves Day so much.
ว่าเดย์จะอภัยให้ไอ้ไนท์มันหรือเปล่าแต่ไอ้ไนท์อ่ะมันไม่มีวันยกโทษให้ตัวเองแน่นอนที่พ่อรู้อ่ะเพราะว่าพ่อก็ยังคงรู้สึกอย่างนั้นกับแม่เขาอยู่
You should feel guilty.
เมื่อคืนเนี้ยพ่อไม่ได้ตั้งใจไปให้เดย์เห็นหน้านะลูก
You wanted to see him.
พ่อแค่อยากไปเห็นหน้าเดย์อีกสักครั้งหนึ่งลูก
Crying.
ผมคิดถึงพ่อ
Stop
นะ
it. Stop
พ่อก็
it.
คิดถึงลูกถ้าย้อนเวลากลับไปได้พ่อก็อยากจะชดใช้ตรงนี้
Uh-huh. You did that to yourself, sir. You should have stayed with your family. I'm feeling emotional. Where's Mock? Mock up there. He's living his best life. Me too, sir. Me too. Yeah. You sure? That's something that I need to put out there. I said it the last episode as well. He said 3 months maximum. Now, there is always that a problem when doctors give on a time. It's never specific. Like I said it in the last episode. 3 months, give and take. Your eyesight can last more than 3 months or less than 3 months. That's why he said, do what you always wanted to do before it's too late. Because you don't know. A doctor can't really specify how long your vision will last because your corneas are damaged. He can't really categorize the corneas to every single human being. He can't just put a kind of time limit on it, considering about the other patients that he had and that he tried to treat before. And that's why it's 3 months, give and take. I don't think the way he's looking at his hands right now means that it's a give. It's a take. That means his vision lasts less than 3 months. You want a hug?
ผมไปดูภูเขา Last Twilight ได้ไหม
Oh, stop. Yeah, he knows. He knows.
คือเดียวครับ
1,500มาจำ500
เดี๋ยวเขาจะพาเงินสดอ่ะ ผมกำลังจะตาบอดอ่ะ ผมอยากขึ้นไปดูแสงสุดท้ายบนภูเขาอ่ะ นี่อาจจะเป็นครั้งสุดท้ายของผมแล้วก็ได้อ่ะ ได้เลยฉันเลยต้องไงป่าครั้งแรกด้วยกันนะ คืนนี้มีอีกอย่างอ่ะ ที่ผมอยากทำเป็นครั้งแรก
ทุกอย่างบอกฉันว่าต้องพูดความจริงไม่มีทางหนี้ได้เลย
เมื่อคืนเห็นกันทั้งตัวแล้วอ่ะ
That he saw everything. He doesn't need to peep.
ผมไม่เห็นอะไรของพี่เลย
Want to see it
น
again?
อนไปละ
Me too, Mark. I love Mark. Me too. Try me. You will beg for it. That. Are you sure?
เล่มเนี้ยเดวิดเขาส่งมาให้ แล้วพอดีเราอ่านจบแล้ว เอาไปสิ
With the ending.
คืนนี้แม่เขาจะกลับมาแล้วนะ
Oh shit.
ผมขอแค่วันนี้อีกวันหนึ่งนะพี่
มึงจะบ้าเหรอไอ้หมอก
I like that Mark is being like this, y'all. Knight was like, come home. Literally, he was like calling him and being like, come home. And he's like, no, not coming home. Forget it. This is about Day. This has nothing to do with Mark. This has nothing to do with Knight. This has nothing to do with the mother. This has to do with Day. This is Day's only opportunity to do something while he can still at least see something. He said that his eyes are giving up. There is nothing he can do to stop it. So, if he goes back and his vision really has worsened to that extent that he can't even see from a palm distance, then that means that he will have completely lost his eyesight by the time he's home. If he can't even see from a palm distance, I don't know how much is a palm distance? Like, so much? I don't know. But not more than that. So if he already can't see to that extent, he won't be capable to see at all when he comes home. And this is literally Dae's only opportunity to still catch a glimpse of something that he always wanted to do. If he goes home now, he will regret it for the rest of his life, because it's not like his eyesight is gonna come back and then suddenly disappear again. This is gonna be his last opportunity. So to be quite honest, if I was in Dae's shoes, I'm already destroying myself because of the fact that I am going blind, but I wouldn't give a damn what the other people are saying. I'm doing what I still can. Because after 2 months, like I said in the last episode, his mom can still see, Knight can still see, Ma can still see, I can't. So I'm gonna do what will be capable to please me until it's too late. I'm not gonna give a damn what other people think. And Dae is like, I don't want you to have trouble with my mom tomorrow. I don't care. You right now, still, even though you are losing your eyesight and you are troubled because of that so much, you care more about me and my safety than you having this opportunity with your eyes. Than you having this opportunity to see the twilight before your eyesight will give up forever. And he still cares more about Mark and what he could be going through if he goes against the mother's wishes. Like, Dae is so pure-hearted. We're going there and that's final. Like, I took you here and I couldn't prevent you from losing your eyesight, but I can at least fight for your last wish. Because technically this is his last wish before his eyes are leaving him for good. So I love that he's like, I don't give a damn, we're going.
ปีศาจในตัวมีค่อยๆถูกชะล้างไปจนหมดสิ้นพร้อมๆกับร่างกายของมีที่เปลี่ยนไปเป็นหินทีละน้อยมีก็กลายเป็นรูปปั้นอยู่เฝ้ามองแสงสุดท้ายอย่างมีความสุขไปตลอดกาลเฮ้ย
That turned
ไม่
dark.
จบแบบนี้วะ
That turned dark real fast.
วันนั้นภาพที่เขาเห็นเนี่ยมึงแย่ขนาดไหนวะ
I love this. I love this. Because this is literally real life. This is real life. I know that a lot of people, especially if they read like novels or so, they always want like a happy ending. But that's not how true life is. True life is sad. Real life doesn't always have a happy ending. It usually has a sad ending. And I think the strength that you pull out of those horrible moments is what is supposedly gonna make you happy in the end. A lot of people just love that there's immediately like a happy ending, like in all those fairy tales where it's like, and they lived happily ever after. No, that's not how real life is. Real life is sad, and sometimes you're not gonna be capable to escape the harsh reality. This book had such a horrible ending. Why? The book was about his daughter. Why doesn't it have a happy ending? Because his daughter didn't have a happy ending either. She still lost her eyesight. She lost her eyesight and she couldn't do anything about it. The fact that that book ended horribly was because not everything in life will end beautifully. And the fact that this book ended sadly in Mark's eyes was because he was hoping that there would be some kind of salvation for him, because of the fact that Dae was like, while they were walking up the mountain, yeah, I know why Aon wanted me to read the book. It's because I am like me. And he was like hoping the end of that book would help him find some kind of hope for Dae. But it's not. Dae is losing his eyesight. There's nothing someone can do to stop it, besides the fact that he could get like an eye transplant. But the sad reality is, without that eye transplant, this man is gonna be blind temporarily, and if they never ever find someone to donate him those eyes, forever. And that's harsh reality. And that's why that book ended the same way. It ended harshly. Why? Because the fact that this man is losing his eyesight and the fact that his daughter, as in David's daughter, lost her eyesight was inevitable. It wasn't something beautiful. You couldn't take anything beautiful out of that situation. She lost her eyesight, and nobody could do anything about that. You can't draw it beautiful. That's harsh reality. Something horrible happened to you, and you can't change it. And you can't hope for the best because you know no matter how beautiful you think, it's not going to change the horrible things that are about to come down on you. And in real life, it's rare that you find something beautiful in such a horrible experience.
มีจะได้ไม่มีวันหายไป
อะไรที่สวยขนาดนั้นบนโลกใบเนี้ยไม่มีอยู่จริงหรอก
โมเมนต์ที่มันดีอะจนรู้สึกว่าถ้าอยู่ตรงนี้ตลอดไปเลย ผมเพิ่งเข้าใจอะ
I think I got it what he was trying to say. He's like, things happen, but you can surround yourself with such a peaceful place, like he described the beach as such a beautiful place, for example, so calm, that he didn't really feel the desire to actually see the beach. He was capable to sense it, like the sand, feel the water on his skin. He felt the sun on his left cheek because the sun was slowly going down. And you can create moments at places that you think are worth remembering with people that are worth remembering. So in this particular circumstance, he was like, I don't necessarily need to see, but I was capable to create a beautiful moment with someone that I truly care about, as in, this is beautiful already enough as it is.
พี่ยิ้มอยู่หรือเปล่า
He's feeling emotional. Stop,
ช่วย
why
ต่อล
are
ม
you
หายใจแค่ใน
นี่แหละสุดท้ายที่อยาก
ยังจดจำด้วย
Oh,
หัว
stop.
ใจ
I hate it. This show is gonna ruin me. It really is. And I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry if the show is gonna ruin me, because this is like a good kind of ruining me. So, anyways, I'm actually intrigued what next episode is gonna be like, because this mom is actually testing my patience. Next episode, she's gonna be testing my patience, because her actually saying that going with what her son wants for once is going over the line, then this woman did not encounter me yet. I feel like next episode is gonna be the hating episode, but we will see. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.